Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and we got this shipped to us actually from Gert Vandermew over in Australia. He bought it on eBay, and he had it sent to me. And what it is a 10 by 5. I need some glasses. Oh, a 10 by 6 by 1 inch precision granite square made in China. But he asked me to compare it to my Standridge square. So it's actually kind of crated here. I'm just going to use a putty knife, try to get under these corners, and get these. They kind of got staples in them. Hoping I can get it out of the box without destroying the box, and so I can reuse it and get it back to him and ship it back over there. So you know what? It's kind of funny. This came all the way from China to the States. And now it's going all the way back to Australia, which is pretty interesting. So let's see what we got here. It looks pretty nice. It looks like kind of a miniature version of mine. There it is there. It looks like it's got a calibration certificate. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I'm going to keep it laid down. If I knock that over and break it, that's my butt. I gotta buy him a new one. I'm only gonna be able to read down to the tenths. I've got a gauge that I use. I'm just kind of flying the GoPro right now, but we're going to get you set up on the Squaremaster so you can take a ride and we can do a comparative. I got to get the rubber mat off the table here, and we're going to check my square against his. Before I ship it off, and he wanted me to check it and make sure that these guys are not pulling a fast one and make sure he can depend on it. Okay, well, we've got our two squares out. We've got our table clean. I've cleaned the bottom of both of these squares. I've got my Standridge square. That's a big 18-inch wonker there. And we're going to give it one final wipe and slide it up on the table here. And at this point, it's never going to leave the table. It's going to stay down tight. And we're going to do the same thing with our test subject. We've got Gert's square here. I've cleaned this one. Bottom clean. Slide it on the table, and it's never going to leave the surface. It's going to stay sliding around. And we need to get the Squaremaster calibrated. So we're going to get these two squares. Pardon the noise. That's a good tone. We're going to get those two squares out of here. And we are looking to our test paper here, and we don't know whether these were just mass printed and sent out. It doesn't look like we have a serial number. It's not serialized, but they're claiming 2.9 millionths over 10 inches. Which is pretty darn good. That would make me pretty happy. Now I'm going to tip the camera down. I'm going to bring in the big calibration square. I'm going to tip down the GoPro. You're going to be watching right here. And this is the only setup I have that'll work making a long slide. I've got you mounted on the slide of the Squaremaster. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. And we need to get this thing calibrated and ready here for doing a square sweep. See, this just barely clears the camera when I come in like this. Okay, I need to tap around this square until we're on 0. And when I pull, I got about 1/10 of backlash in this. And I've got it to where I can just barely see the gauge. You guys actually have a better view than I do. Let me check the backlash. I'm going to give this carriage a pull and see what kind of backlash I get. Not really any. Okay, we're going to make a sweep up. Okay, she's falling off. I'm going to go all the way to the top of my travel. And I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4/10 of movement. So I'm going to take an Allen wrench I'm going to drop it into this back foot of the Square Master. This is why you should always check a Square Master when you're setting it up. Let's see, that dropped off, so I need to raise this foot up. So I'm going to give that little back foot just a little turn. Take us up to 0. There. All right, I'm going to make another sweep. I'm going to go do my last sweep bottom to top. So I'm going to get us back on 0 here. You always 0 at the bottom and then make your adjustments up high. The bottom changes very little. All right, let's make another vertical sweep. That's pretty good when she comes to rest. You can see there, I'm just preloading the carriage. It's got about 1/10 of play in the carriage. That's pretty normal for these things. For a Square Master to have about 1/10 of backlash. You get them too tight and they just don't work. Alright, we're pretty happy there that that's square. Alright, let's get the master square out of here. We're going to bring over our test subject. We're going to put our adjustment Allen wrench away. And now we're going to bring over Gert's square. And again, we're going to go bottom to top. Same thing. And he just wanted this checked, you know, against my standard while it was here, you know. Gert's way over in Australia. So, he just wanted it checked here before it left. Alright, I'm calling that a good 0. I'm going to pull on the carriage, see if I get any movement. Oh, very little. Alright, let's make the sweep. I'm seeing about 1/10 of positive, so that means it's leaning in a little bit. So it's a 1/10 on the positive side. Let's make another sweep, and then we're going to go back to our master. We return to 0. I'm going to give that one more little pull. Yeah, see, as soon as I preload, it falls below 0. And now she's on the climb. Alright, I'm going to move this square around on the table a little bit and pull it off here, wipe it down with my hand. You know, I just cleaned it with Windex and ammonia. Nothing there, nothing on the table. Feels good down on the table. There's your 0 again. And let's make another sweep. See if I get the same results. It falls about 1/2 below. And as I climb, it just slowly gets on the rise. Right there. I'm at the top of my 10-inch right there. And I'm just over 1/10. Alright, let's go back to the master square and see what that... to quantify that measurement. So if it was me, I'm going to call malarkey on that test report. And here we're going to make an 18-inch sweep this time. Alright, 0. Here we go. Yeah, this one's not really climbing that 1/10. And when I come to rest, I stay at 0. And the other one, you know, I was checking it when it came to rest too. You know, after I took my hand completely off the carriage and it sits idly. There you can see the backlash on the way down. Okay, I've got a few things here that I want to check for square. This is one thing that I've been meaning to check for a long time anyways. This is a test machinist square, and it's kind of a working square that I use, but it gets bumped around the shop a lot. So every once in a while you got to check your tools. This is a knife edge square, which is really nice for doing visuals. So the only really way to check it, there's no way to drag that needle up that knife edge. So we're going to put the knife edge down on the table. I've cleaned it. I'm just sandwiching it in between a couple of 1, 2, 3 blocks. And we're going to check this big blocky side here. So I'm going to tip you back down so you can see the gauge again. And like I say, this is a gauge that, or a square that I need to check anyways. So, and I know it's, when it works, man, it's right on the button. So I just want to, you should check your tools every once in a while anyways if you're going to rely on them. Okay, I'm on 0. Make a sweep. Okay, I got a cylinder square here that I know and trust. So we're going to check it. We're down on the table. I just finished cleaning it. I took it out of the bag in my drawer. You guys can comment on the video whether a half, a tenth is 5 millionths or 50 millionths. But I probably won't remember. All right, let's make this sweep. Oops, I didn't take the backlash out there. Let's do that again. All right, backlash out on 0. Make that sweep. Happy. We're going to rotate our cylinder square 180 degrees and check this other side. This is just an inspection square. It's not really, I don't use it out to work with, so it's not really a working unit. Okay, pretty happy there. So cylinder square checks out good. This is a tool block that I actually use for making my little squares. So this is a working block, and it doesn't hurt to check these for square once in a while. This gets washed and cleaned constantly. It's always back and forth to the magnetic plate. Backlash out on 0. Make the sweep. All right. So I think we're good. You know, I think our calibration is good on the Square Master, and we will bring the big master square back over, quantify these, and go back to that little square one last time, and then I'm pretty comfortable calling malarkey on their 2.9 millionths. Backlash out, square in on 0. Let's sweep this turkey. This is a long sweep. All right. Still square, still good. Not moving the Square Master. Test subject back in. We've checked this against 1, 2, 3, 4 different points of reference that I keep here in the shop, and these are all known to be very square. Backlash out. Yep. Knocked it in too far. Okay, on 0. Making our sweep. On the climb. Same as before. So I'm seeing again 2/10 on over the 10-inch over the 10-inch sweep, and I'm pretty comfortable with those results. Like I say, I've checked it against 4 different shop standards that I know and trust, and that I keep square here. And the cylinder square is self-checking because I rotated that 180 degrees, so I was able to, if parallelism exists, then square can exist. So I checked it against a cylinder square, so I'm very confident with these numbers. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this little trip around the around the surface plate. Thanks for watching, and Gert, let me know what you want to do with this square, whether you want me to send it into the cal and get that 2/10 out of there, or what you want me to do with it. All right, talk to you later.